Hey Nova, man, I know like you're scared that I'm on your grass and I'm looking for you, bro. I'm not, man. Genuinely, I just want to have a conversation. We can talk off stream, bro. Nova, I don't think you're a bad guy, man. I promise, bro. Like, hey, so I had a bunch of people on my stream, adding me, telling me to look into this Nova Online situation, and I finally got around to doing it. There's my reaction right there if you want to see. But Nova, this isn't a friendly request anymore. We need to actually talk because I genuinely now believe you're not a bad guy. So let's talk, Nova.
I don't know if you can tell, but I've lost my motivation to shower and
I find comfort in.
I've lost my motivation to shower?
the server got nuked!
Cocksucker! Cute uwu.
Yo, I turned 21 in 2 months. Could I still?
There was this other girl. They started talking when he was 18 and she was around 13.
What is Nova Online? Nova Online releases Death Note targeting creators. Nova Online, a tale of gluttony and vengeance. We'll react to this.
In the world of big business, there's an idea known as golden handcuffs. Companies will give their high-value employees lavish incentives to make sure they don't leave. Stock options, equity, bonuses, all ways to chain talent to one specific corporation. But what if instead of working at any high-value company, your job was making TikToks? And instead of vacations to Bermuda and a new Benz, the thing making you stay was millions of people watching you destroy your life on a daily basis.
This person likes to wear diapers and soil them.
Trying Wingstop for the first time. These are actually pretty decent.
But this TikToker is hiding a dark secret.
And the relaunch of the Discord server is coming soon.
It's 18 plus.
The server got nuked! No!
Nova Online is a man who has been repeatedly exposed for his inappropriate interactions with underage individuals, and yet continues to document every step of his life online. From his hoarding to his wall where he smears bodily fluids, his food reviews, and his most recent dive into creating adult content, he's a busy guy.
I'm never making another Discord server again.
He did in fact keep using Discord, and it went about as well as you can imagine. A total disaster. It's clear that at this point, Gabriel yearns for the attention no matter what form it comes in, chains from which he will never free himself. We've got a lot to talk about.
So I know nothing's been bad since. You guys need to stop me.
Finally, I can post real videos to my new LG style phone.
Nova began his content creation journey on YouTube, posting Let's Plays of games like Minecraft, Brawlhalla, and Fortnite.
What's up, guys? Magic Wizard with the 5th video I have recorded so far today.
As dedicated as he was, this channel was lost in the sea of other Let's Players trying to do the same thing. So he switched platforms from YouTube to TikTok, and swapped his format from video games to fast food.
Trying Wingstop for the first time. Cajun seasoned fries.
For the first time.
Okay. Mildly spicy, but nothing that I can't bear. These are actually pretty decent. 8 out of 10.
This video got millions of views, changing Nova's life forever. An ironic fan base formed around him, eager to see what he would review next.
Trying Ultra Sunrise Monster Energy, and if you're wondering why I'm not at home, I'm at my church for Bible camp.
Unfortunately for him, within a matter of just a few months, he was exposed for having an interest in diapers.
Wait. Hey. Wait.
This is
Every person we've caught that's been into diapers, they're also into CP. Like, there is definitely a correlation between the two. For sure. Without a shadow of a doubt. You know? I'm not gonna say every person that's into diapers is into CP, but high 90 percentile.
obviously pretty strange, but in and of itself, it's not technically a crime. What might be is him sharing these strange interests with who he believed to be a 14-year-old girl.
Twinkle with that, how I wonder where you are, up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky.
Following this incident, he was subject to being incessantly exposed for his strange behavior, and chronically bothered by trolls, to the point where his life became a bizarro version of The Truman Show.
I don't know if you can tell, but I've lost my motivation to shower and
I find comfort in.
I've lost my motivation to shower? Chat, I didn't know we had to get motivated to shower. Chat, have you ever had to give yourself a motivational pep talk to get in the shower?
Eating.
His house is essentially a hoarder's nightmare. He documented himself attempting to clean it, before promptly giving up when he realized it would take at least a little bit of effort.
Y'all know me as the food review guy, the karaoke guy, the guy that tried to do a house cleaning.
I mean, right now I know you're the
kind
diaper
of failed
guy.
on that and is now cleaning his room at his own pace.
He also continued doing fast food reviews, only to reveal the effects of a pure slop diet on his bowel movements.
Hey y'all, so I think I'm gonna go stop going to the Wendy's that I normally go to.
After a series of failed Discord servers, he attempted to create a new one in May of 2025, trying to bring his fan base together at long last. This server featured several channels containing not safe for work content, but Nova and his mod team failed to have a proper age verification system in place, reportedly allowing minors to be exposed to some bad stuff.
The server rules clearly state you have to be above 18, but you gave a child moderator for singing in voice chat.
What the fuck?
He also used this server to beg his fans for money, despite spending hundreds of dollars a month on useless trinkets and expensive DoorDash orders. And of course, he made sure to share with everyone that his diaper was, in fact, full once again.
Oh my god.
Within a few hours,
Bro, man.
the entire server was hacked. Nova was on live stream when it initially went down, having a total meltdown over the loss of his Discord kitten community.
The server got nuked! The server! No!
Say something, I'm giving up on you.
And there goes the server. Seriously?
But then, something strange happened. While this meltdown seemed pretty sincere, given it was the actual moment that he found out about the server being destroyed, he then made a TikTok about it.
I'm never making another Discord server again. This is the motherfucking fourth.
To be clear, it's not weird that he made a TikTok. That is what he does. What is weird is that to me, this seems like acting. We know his real meltdown happened on the stream, but for it to happen again and to be so perfectly timed, he knew what he was doing. These meltdowns get him clicks online where people comment to make fun of him, boosting it in the algorithm. And to his credit, it worked. The video got 15 million views, and once again made him the subject of commentary channels that hate him. Nova had officially achieved self-awareness of his status as an internet punching bag, even playing into it as his only means of any online relevance. This is where I last left off with him, trying to recapture whatever semblance of relevance he once had by recreating his hits.
Can I get a French onion soup, please? I think it's time to recreate one of my most viral moments.
I've never heard of this dude.
Onion soup, please.
So what's happened since then? Well, to say the least, his past has once again come back to haunt him. First, one of his former classmates named Casey came forward to share her experience with Nova dating all the way back to middle school. Over a 4-minute video on TikTok, she explains that he was a choir kid, but he wasn't accepted into the school's choir, so he made his own.
Damn. Not even the choir kids want to hang out with you? Damn.
What that apparently meant in practice was that he invited a bunch of girls over and told them that one of the requirements for his choir was for them to be comfortable with using exercise machines for music videos. I genuinely can't think of any reasonable explanation for this requirement, so I think we have to assume that Nova's gooning goes all the way back to then. The girl in the video eventually found herself in the situation of having to perform a couple of songs alongside Nova, but she decided she would rather not show up at all, which made him very upset, at least according to her. Later on, Casey claims that Nova asked multiple girls to go up to the front of the class, and once they did what he asked, he performed Love Me Like You Do by Ellie Goulding while giving the girls a Magic Mike style lap dance. Ladies and gentlemen, it is official.
I'm trying to figure out how do you get a gun? How do you get a bunch of girls to pull up? I couldn't do nothing like, bro. I couldn't have, bro. I couldn't even get the choir girls to pull up, to some after-school curriculum stuff with me. How did he pull that off?
Up white boys are no longer allowed to bust it down sexual style. Any hitting of the yoinky schpoinky will be met with severe unforeseen consequences. That song is still fire though, you can't even deny it. Of course, when she noticed the direction things were heading, the teacher stepped in and intervened, preventing Nova from permanently traumatizing a group of middle school girls. Besides this incident, Casey claims that pretty much every single girl that went to school with him was equally uncomfortable around him due to how touchy he was. And she closes the video off by sharing a video of one of their choir performances. As you can see here, Nova is the one in the red shirt, and his unique physique is pretty recognizable despite him being much younger. Now, as much as I'm sure everyone is tempted to believe every aspect of this story, there are a few things to note. Firstly, this story supposedly takes place in middle school, so I wouldn't take it too seriously, to be honest. And secondly, we don't know how truthful Casey is being. I'm not accusing her of lying, I'm just saying, remember to take everything that isn't confirmed in these stories with a big grain of salt. Besides this former classmate of his, there was also a former friend of Nova's who was in contact with him since mid-2023, who was interviewed by two of Nova's main detractors named Solidus Nova and Bloodspeth. In this interview, she describes reaching out to him out of pity. She saw how much hate he was getting on TikTok and was hoping that by striking up a friendship, she could ease his sorrows. But over time, she came to the realization,
I can change him. Nova, this isn't you. Let me talk to him. I can make him the better.
That he wasn't just hated for being cringy, but instead for allegations of predatory behavior. Over several screenshots of their Discord conversations, Nova can be seen talking about his general downtrodden state of mind. What's up? My brother is mad at me. Why? I just need time for myself. It isn't your fault, it's mine for being a loser. In another one of these conversations, Nova answers a simple, hey, it's been a long time, with, I'm depressed as hell right now. When asked about what was wrong, he says everything, before stating he has been prescribed antidepressants and has had multiple self-deletion attempts. His reasoning for these feelings is that he's been, quote, backstabbed, mistreated, and played with. Now, if he's truly having these very dark feelings in a very serious manner, then that isn't something to be played with. With that being said, based on the messages, the majority of his problems relate to his time spent online. A practical solution for someone like him would be to stop making videos and get a job.
No, like that's the same thing like Iron Mouse, you know what I mean? She was being sexually assaulted by or sexually harassed by Ray and Rakai. You know, you would think, you know, if she's gonna pull a Sheldon Cooper and robot herself to the Twitch Awards. Hey, you know, like, hey, you're sexually harassing me? Hey, doo-doo. But, you know, hey, no. We gotta stay on camera.
Both things that he is technically capable of doing. But as this video will make clear, his online infamy is somewhat of an addiction for him, and he thinks that the next hit is always just around the corner. From how often he brings it up in conversations, it seems like he's using the suggestion he will take himself out as a way to garner sympathy, down to the way he trails off every sentence with a ... like he's typing out a fan fiction on Wattpad. I don't want to make light of serious mental health issues here,
I want to
but
see
the
this
last
bad
message
stuff.
he
Let's get
sends
into it,
after
Turkey
talking
Tom.
about this is, not even the Trevor Project wants to talk to me. If you're unaware, the Trevor Project is the mental health hotline for LGBTQ people. As far as I know, he's not really LGBTQ, so I have no idea why he mentioned this hotline in specific.
He's like, I'm thinking about ending it all. Oh, really? Oh, what sexual? Are you the L in LGBTQ? Are you the B in LGBTQ? Well, like, what are you? Are you LGBTQRSTUVWXYZ? I'm straight. And they just hang up like, are they just like hanging up on you?
I don't even know if you can be banned or have your phone number blacklisted by the Trevor Project, but if that is true, you gotta wonder what he did to warrant that treatment. According to this former friend of his, he only ever initiated a conversation to engage in more self-pity and complain about his life, and had basically no personality besides that and his online persona. He never ever showed signs of taking steps to improve his life. What makes all of this worse is that Nova was explaining all of this to a girl who was still technically underage when they were talking. She claims that shortly after discovering him on Twitch playing Fortnite, she was invited into a call with him and one of his friends during his stream. But as enough time passed, he eventually turned his stream off, basically making it a private call between him and this minor. Nova's friend eventually took
Ultra 10. The internet gives people like this the gusto to roam in public unapologetically. Facts.
Issue with this, and this is how she recalls it going.
He invited his friend, right? He invited his friend, and then halfway through, he stopped streaming. It was me, him, and his friend, and then his friend goes, "You sound kind of young. Nova, how old is she?" And he goes, "I don't know." And he goes, "How old are you?" And I said, "I'm 15." And he goes, "Whoa, Nova, she's 15." And he goes, "Damn it." He screams, "Damn it," right?
Unsurprisingly, he had somewhat spurious motivations from the get-go. Although he never said anything outright sexual that we know of to this girl, he did convince...
You know why he said, damn it? It wasn't because she was 15. He said, damn it, she ratted on me. Frick! Ah! I'm gonna call the Trevor Project Hotline. Ring, 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 ring. Hello, this is the LGBTQRSCVWXYZ hotline. What's your issue? Ugh, my waifu just swatted on me. She told everybody that I was 15. Oh, really? Are you a guy? Yeah. Is she a girl? Yeah. Bing.
Her to tolerate him pretending to be a baby on voice chats, and even sent a few videos of himself in baby mode and hugging some
Baby
plushie,
mode.
as well as showcasing his iced out binky. Although they're
Iced out! What?
mode and hugging some plushie, as well as
I done seen it all. I done seen it all. Bro got an iced out binky? Hey. Oh my God. Hey, I can't even count. That's kind of tough. Bro, he got it like that. He went to Johnny Dang and he was like, yo, ice this out for me real quick. Bro, that's tough.
showcasing his iced out binky. Although their conversations never went beyond talking about hugging, I'd say that this could have escalated to something much worse given Nova's reputation. To me, this reads as Nova wanting to talk to someone under the guises of having mental health issues, only to then turn the conversation towards his strange interest shortly thereafter. His real motivation in all of this. If he was allowed to talk to people all day about diapers and whatever else, I really doubt we would hear about his depression very often. But despite these people being somewhat decent sources on how Nova truly is when the TikToks aren't being recorded, these are girls, and Nova is known for behaving quite differently towards girls than he does with men. We also have testimony from a former coworker of his, who despite having a pretty superficial relationship with him, managed to offer up some interesting nuggets of info. For example, this person claims that contrary to Nova's constant pity party about how no place wants to hire him, at least in the case of the establishment they both...
Nah. I ain't never... No, bro. That boy practicing hip thrusts without the hip thrust. What are you? Bro, you're not even getting the full back contraction. Your traps are activated. That boy...
used to work at, Nova wasn't actually fired, but instead he voluntarily resigned. Nova supposedly quit his job because, in his own words, he was making enough money from selling cameos and he lived with his mom anyway, so he wasn't in need of money. Not only is Cameo gonna come up again later, but it's actually come up before as a major issue for Nova. Cameo is one of the easiest ways to capitalize on having online clout. Basically, it's a website where you pay a few dollars for a celebrity to record a short video message for you.
Quandale Dingle.
It sounds pretty easy, but Nova also managed to screw this up. When a TikToker ordered his services, Nova recorded a shoutout video where he doesn't once name the person he's shouting out. This obviously renders the cameo completely pointless, as he could send that same exact video to literally anybody. When he deservedly got a 1-star rating, he contacted the TikToker on Discord, begging her to change her rating and even offering to record another video. Unfortunately, he never recorded that other video. It just goes to show how lazy and incompetent this guy truly is. With this much of a non-existent work ethic, there is no chance he could ever stop working and just do cameos. Another thing Nova's coworker says is that his roommate claims to have witnessed Nova wearing diapers. Only now have I really considered the logistics of Nova, a wet diaper enthusiast, working at fast food establishments. How would you feel if a greasy-haired, unbathed, bed-bug-ridden, wet diaper-wearing Nova online served you your food?
You know what, actually? I would rather that. Because, Chad, think about it like this, man. Do you think bro would wash his hands after he just got done taking a dump? Well, oh, I was just thinking about no, actually, no. No, because that's poop pheromone. Yeah, no. No, yeah, no. I'm good. If I'm walking in and I'm seeing him behind the register, I've lost my appetite. I've lost my appetite. Yeah, I need to go back home. See, I'm too big to even be in an establishment like that.
Or even worse, what if he was the one cooking it? He's practically a walking OSHA violation. I actually don't know how he gets hired in the first place. Unfortunately, the coworker didn't have much to offer besides that, as they didn't spend much time together. But that to me is also notable, because when girls give testimony of their experiences with Nova, they always report him trying to get as close to them as possible. But when it's just a dude, it's like he makes no effort whatsoever to try and establish any kind of relationship. While the information these two brought forward is pretty interesting, it totally pales in comparison to other developments that took place after my last video about Nova, also relating to his past. Although it hasn't been something I focused on, one of the most notable incidents during Nova's online presence is the Uncle Drew meltdown. For context, in March 2023, during one of Nova's gaming streams, this randomly took place.
God damn it! Cocksucker! I threw one of these days! I'm feeling my uncle, and I'm not gonna put up with any more of this! I'm done! No, I'm not fucking okay!
To the people watching at the time, it was really hard to make out what Nova was even trying to convey, and when he came back, he stayed mostly quiet and turned his face cam off, until he half-heartedly explained what caused the meltdown.
If you've seen the Discord, you'll know what happened with me and my uncle again. We got into another argument. It was for a bullshit reason too. I forgot plans that we had made for Friday and I had scheduled something else. And then he got angry at me because I forgot.
With online trolls, no matter how aggressive and disruptive they could be, Nova for the most part would just respond by becoming despondent and feigning depression. Uncle Drew, on the other hand, was the one person that made him completely drop the act and go nuts.
And I'm not gonna put up with any more of this! I'm done! I'm done!
It's the unk factor that no one takes into account.
It rhymes with Uncle Funko.
Eventually, Bloodspeth managed to contact him and get some information directly from Uncle Drew. Nova was sheltered, only child, growing up afraid of everything. The relationship between us was good. I'm the only one to spend time with him, learning how to fish, work on cars. Grandma got him gardening. His mother and father got him into the computer as a way to babysit him so they didn't have to. If you take away his internet access, he has classic withdrawal fits. Screaming, just going off like any spoiled single kid. He's awkward, shy, and afraid of his own shadow. It's TikTok that told him who he can be and that he can do what he wants. There is no right and wrong to him, only what TikTok says, his own words. While these are interesting and definitely shine some light on the true character of Nova, according to Drew, Nova lied about what they had argued about. When he was asked about when their argument started, Uncle Drew replied saying he found out Nova had been lying to him about 2.5 years prior, but he was unwilling to say what Nova was actually lying about. There was no argument. There was him crossing a line. I put him on the spot over it, and it eventually led to me turning my back on him. It was him going on TikTok, saying false things, and acting like a pervert. That was the final straw. He needs to be under a doctor's care because he has issues, obviously, and if he's being a perv online, how long before he eventually acts on it? He's already been kicked out of the church and cost my sister her position.
He's already been kicked out the church? Oh no. But you see, bro, this is the problem with the church, man. The church likes to keep things in the church. And if it's a problem and they don't want to get a bad look, they'll kick you out instead of going to the police.
Because of his sexually inappropriate questions and his TikTok videos. Honestly, if I ever caught anyone harming a child, I would be hard-pressed to not put a bullet in someone for such crimes. I've made it clear to his TikTok friends threatening me that I'm always armed, and Nova knows this. Bloodspeth then asked Uncle Drew if Nova's TikTok followers had been harassing him, and Drew confirmed, adding that they had also been targeting his sisters, meaning Nova's mom and his aunts. The interview then comes to a halt as Drew says he's in the hospital and is on medication and would rather not say anything else. It seems he was the only person in real life who was truly alarmed by the absolute degeneracy Nova was getting up to, and that's probably why Nova hated him so much. He was the one man unwilling to enable or tolerate his disgusting lifestyle, unlike the people who had joined Nova's Discord servers. A few months later, Uncle Drew was sent the pictures which had leaked of Nova wearing a onesie and sucking on a pacifier. In response, he asks whoever sent him this stuff to report it to the local sheriff. I'm 18 months in the hospital, so he knows I can't come slap the crap out of him, so please call an officer. Most of this I had no knowledge of, and if my brother were alive, he would have been on top of it and made his life miserable. His mom is a I don't see it so it doesn't happen type. My respect for her is less than zero.
Tell you one thing, and I'm not ashamed to say it. My estimation of Nova Online as a man just f***ing plummeted.
She's not answering my calls or messages, so again, she don't see it. A useless parent. She also lives on the internet, so good luck. Personally, I'd give him a good old-fashioned trip out behind the garage.
How do we know that this is really an
and let them think that any physical violence is a good idea in any form whatsoever. If any action should be taken by anyone, it's law enforcement in these scenarios. I doubt that's going to happen either way, but no one should be busting anyone's lips open over this stuff. Regardless, Drew does allege several things here. Nova's father had passed away, and his mom is his primary enabler, actively ignoring and pushing away anyone who will question her son's activities. Sadly, just 1 month after these messages were sent, Uncle Drew passed away. Presumably due to whatever caused him to be in the hospital for 18 months. It's worth noting that in his obituary, it said that he spent his life working in special needs care. To me, this is interesting because when it comes to discussing widely hated internet figures, sometimes people will bring up that they're disabled in some way as if to justify the bad things they've done, or at least excuse them from suffering the consequences of their actions. If I am to believe this obituary, Uncle Drew spent his life working with people who were actually disabled. So at least in theory, he knew the difference between someone who is genuinely special needs and someone like Nova, who takes advantage of everyone's tolerance to do whatever he pleases. Ultimately, all I can say to Uncle Drew is rest in peace. If his account is true and righteous, then if it weren't for him and Nova's dad when he was still alive, who knows how bad things could have gotten before anyone else intervened. Especially given the fact that Nova could have avoided his entire downfall by simply purchasing one of my hats. This beanie is available.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, Turkey Tom is edging me now, cause like I'm trying to. What? Does it get worse from this?
If there's one person's actions you wouldn't want to personally endorse, it's Nova Online. It's hard to tell when exactly Gabe's unique urges began to show in real life, but we can actually figure out when they began manifesting online. KF user Osama bin Laden, I assume not the real one, but you never really know these days, managed to find Nova's old Quora account under the name Nick Nyadine. We know that this alias is him because it also shows up in the descriptions of a YouTube channel with a lot of videos that clearly show a much younger Nova, as well as a Twitter account that's tied to him.
And I would just like to say thank you. Again. I've gotten over 100 views on my epic and epic card trick shots.
It's pretty shocking to see Nova before the greasy hair and the Discord mod physiognomy overtook him. It's even more shocking to see that 10 years ago, he was already making the same exact kind of content he still makes today, recording himself on an iPhone opening Pokemon cards. To this day, he still opens random trinkets, toys, water bottles, whatever his fascination of the week is, he opens them on TikTok. Also, another side note, his introduction here is clearly him imitating Jacksepticeye, who Nova was probably watching a lot at that time.
Good morning, ladies. My name is Nick99, and finally, I can post real videos to my new LG style phone. So today, I have an amazing video for you today. Merry Christmas to all. So I'm going to be showing you Pokemon figures I got for Christmas.
This is also reflected in his early YouTube content. Based on this, it seems his original intent was to make an honest-to-God gaming channel and have that succeed.
What's going on, YouTube? It is the phenomenal 9912334 coming back at you with an update video today. And first of all, I would just like to say my channel is ultimately dead.
But that might all change.
You can criticize Let's Players all you want, but those guys do have to work to make their channels succeed, especially people like Jacksepticeye or Markiplier, who have managed to maintain audiences over the course of the last decade and a half. Nova, meanwhile, gave up on trying before he even had a half-decent microphone. He grew impatient with his lack of success, and ultimately, when he finally blew up, for less than stellar reasons, he let the entire thing consume him, rather than trying to make something people actually cared about unironically.
Today, we're gonna break down and finally do it. Guys, we are finishing our 100 fishing challenge.
It's really weird for me to see these old videos of Nova as someone who's made a few videos about him already, because you can clearly see that in another timeline, he could have grown up to be a normal person, but something went terribly wrong along the line, and now we're stuck in the bad ending. Based on Osama's findings, the final crack that sent Nova barreling down the black hole he currently finds himself in took place in 2021, as that's when he began following the teens in diapers topic on Quora. Right around the same time, on Nova's Instagram, he was saying that he had been having mental breakdowns, describing them as pounding headaches. Hold on, you're telling me that Nova is suffering from sudden physical symptoms caused by his mental problems, he has mommy issues, and he's overweight and greasy? This is ringing a bell.
It's good